Hey, what am
We're up here at Riversleigh. It's up in just north of Mount Isa at the Riversleigh station. It's part of the Lawn Hill Pastoral Lease. It's the outstation for the Lawn Hill Pastoral Lease, and we're here with a heap of young guys, about 8 blokes from all over the place. We're here because of the MomenTIM program. It's a cultural camp really, or a leadership camp. The idea behind the camp is to, get a number of our young guys who are in our program, in our MomenTIM program, to, come up to a place like the Riversleigh station, the land of the Wanya people. We wanted them to get their, toes in the dirt and get connected to the earth. It's really important that, we continue to work with young fellas like this in this way. I mean, leadership, we say, is something that, empowers someone to do something. We have to connect to who we are, our identity, who are we as young men, our culture and our family ties. Tomorrow's Indigenous men are going to be these guys who are showing some leadership, taking control of their lives, and having the, I know that they can be whatever they want to be.
During this camp, I'm really hoping to gain new friends and experience different stuff that we don't do in town.
I came to this camp to learn about the culture.
Knowing more about my culture would help me pass some knowledge on to the next generation.
I want to keep that going in our family and rushing through our bloods.
This camp will probably help me with finding different opportunities or different pathways I can take in life, understanding my culture more so I can understand more about myself.
Culture to me is very important, knowing where you come from.
To listen to the elders and learn more about the country.
Whatever I learn here, I'll take it back down to New South Wales and show my mob.
Culture to me is just fun and it's love and just experience of this land.
Understanding your culture is understanding yourself, because you can know where your family come from, how you've lived, and then try and bring it into the new age to try and help yourself, to help better yourself, to become a better person.
I'll probably be more confident in knowing about the culture, and if people are asking, you can help them out.
It makes me feel good about myself, make me feel like I know where I came from.
The river, the country, the red dust, the heat. It is just spirit from the ground, the trees and the nature and all that stuff that boys learn about on the country.
When you first come on board, you get all the basic tuition on the horses, the cattle, and on using horses, it's a big thing. You've got to really be dedicated to that horse or horses, because that's your tool, that's your main tool, and then you start to pick up the skills of working cattle quietly, handling them quietly. Be alert, be on the ball. If you're down in the yards, if a gate's closed and there's you know, for some reason you go through a gate, make sure you chain it. So when a cow chases you, the quickest thing to do is get up the rails. This area, this section here is called a race, which comes into the crush. Apparently the dip was built 100 years ago. Gerald will help you. Squeeze it.
Squeeze. Hard as you can. Real hard. Quick. Pull. Oh, we just put his hand in. Shit.
Righto fellas, great job today. Appreciate it all. And one great thing you learned today is team effort. Work in a different environment with different people, strangers, and you all pulled your weight, got the job done.
So I'm really happy that we can get in and work as a team, and yeah.
Thanks for the opportunity they gave us, because mainly teachers don't let us do that there.
Started today, not being able to look at the testes being cut out to being able to cut one out or two.
And eat them.
Yeah, and eat them.
Bush oyster.
Eating some balls. Balls.
Here we go.
Oh,
Juicy.
Oh, what do you reckon? First impression.
It's nice. Chicken.
I dropped out of school when I was grade 9, and sat around on my ass for 2 years. Came out here, then I liked it and stuck it out for a while. When I first started, I started pretty green. Didn't really know that much, but just gave it time, then just work up through the ranks. Now I'm the head stockman for the place. It's a day-to-day work. You get up and you make an honest living, and you stay very close to country and close to family.
positive message for Indigenous culture and Indigenous men. These are our leaders of tomorrow. We have Preston Campbell with me, and me being an Indigenous psychiatrist. We want to instill in them the leadership qualities that we've seen that actually help people to get ahead in life and actually make our culture strong. Some of the message that we've been sharing with the young fellas is about how culture does make us strong and helps us to be resilient for the values and belief systems of our people. Now, evidence has shown that when you reintroduce a culture from a society that has lost that culture, it increases their mental health, it increases their resilience, it increases their capacity to actually get education and degrees and to be able to sustain that life of culture and also a modern lifestyle. And so we've gone back to a country where they can feel the spirit, feel that peace and feel that calm to actually recenter themselves. We talked about identity on this trip. There's a cultural identity, there's that youth identity, and then there's football culture, there's school culture. Okay, so identity makes up lots of different things, but one thing we want them to run true with is who they are.
In today's society, the young fellas grow up with so much noise around them. So for them to be able to sit down, have conversations with people like myself and Dr. Derek Chong, and we have other facilitators here, it's just a great way for us to be able to connect. Let the young boys know, let them understand that even though there is a lot of noise around there, they don't need to go through it by themselves. There's plenty of support out there for them, and I guess it's important to have these kind of camps because they can understand who they are. They can learn a lot more about themselves so that when something does arise that's not so positive for them, they can get right to the crux of it. You know, I'm feeling this way, so I need help with this. People out there that generally still feel like mental illness or depression is a myth. But I felt like I needed to share my story in the hope that it encouraged others to talk up, because I failed miserably at it. At the end of the day, that was my medicine, to actually talk, to communicate, to let people know how I felt. That was my medicine. That's how I got better. That's how I got better. And the only reason I could tell people how I felt was to actually understand how I felt. Sit in places like this.
It comes down to them being strong in themselves, you know, having a sense of identity and being comfortable with themselves. So these guys have been taken out of their shells this week, and they've been put into things that they're not comfortable with at all. And you know, some of them go, I don't want to do that, or you know, I don't think I can do that. And we either go, well, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. When they say, I don't think I can do it, we try and encourage them to do it, and that way they get in there and they see that they can do it. You know, it really builds them up massively, and they feel confident. So hopefully when they go back and they have everyone peer pressuring them to do this and do that and make the wrong choices, they're strong enough in themselves to go, no, you guys can do that, I'm going to sit back here.
Some of the skills that they've taken away is really being able to learn something about themselves that they may not have known before they attended this camp.
To share with the boys that they're going to, at times in their life, face adversity, and you know, it's okay to do that and to face hard times, and you know, that they've got choices, and you know, you can have an easy choice and you know, follow the crowd and everything else, or you can go against it and do the best thing for you, and you know, do the hard choice and work hard at that. And you know, it might not be popular with your friends or family at the time, but in the end, it's you know, it's the best thing for you, and you know, to bring the best version out of you, you need to do that. There's no doubt in the world you're going to face some hard times, and there's going to be a time where you've got them options, boys, and you know, when you face that adversity, and just remember, you know, that hard options, it might be tough and it might be the hard option at the time, but it's going to be the best thing for you. You know, that hard choice where your mates might turn on you and go, oh, who are you, like call you a dog or call you something, or you're going to make, you know, the right choice for you, the hardest choice. But if you speak about your feelings and your emotions, that's what I think is important. I started sharing my story a bit more, you know, through the NRL State of Mind, because I think it's really important for us men to share, you know, it's okay to seek help, or it's okay, you know, to deal with your problem.
Back in the old days, to hunt and gather, the men and women do both. The men used to go out and hunt for the kangaroo, whatever, and the lady used to do the fishing and gather anything from the water, like the water lily. Well, we didn't have bread in those days. They used to use the lily seed to grind to make a damper out of it. In the river, there's water mussels, and there's plenty in the river to eat.
You could walk all along this river here, and if you know what you're looking for, you probably could, within about 10 metres, you'll always run into an artefact.
The old people used to walk this country from Gregory here up to Lilydale, and then they'd spend time up at Lawn Hill. They would just walk this country up and down. There's wild onion, wild passion fruit, and the gum tree leaves are good if you got a bad flu. Just boil that up and bath in it. It's like the eucalyptus. This is what they make the eucalyptus from, the oil. It's the gum tree, even the bark.
Do you know why Aboriginal stockmen were the best stockmen back in the old days and even today? Because we can handle the hot conditions, and we just blend it in with the environment, because this is our home, this is our country. Your culture's always there, and as soon as you go back on country, it just comes out, your culture. You know, your instincts, everything comes back.
It's a good program for these young fellas, and there should be more of it. Like, if we can get them out here more often, all the rest of it, and show them, you know, like the life out in the bush and the rest of it, like the cities and the crap that goes on in the towns, and the influences, the bad influences that they get from like drugs, alcohol.
Riversleigh, I had a vision to bring young kids up here, because it's just a really calming atmosphere, the country, the water and the rivers and that, and that's what I find what fixes me. The young fellas that come up here and do these camps, they'll look back up here and they'll know they've got a friend up here with me or Mick, or over at Lawn Hill with Paul. Give us a call and just ask us what's going on, how's the weather. Just chat about things when they're feeling down. You know, there's always tomorrow. We all go through it, all go through troubles in our lives, but you just got to keep a clear mind and say, well, I'm going to push through this, and then I'm going to make tomorrow a better day. They'll walk away with like a feeling in their heart that they've achieved something, and then they've met a lot of good people. They isolate themselves in their minds and that, and they just back themselves into a dark corner, and they don't seem to that there's any other light out there, but there is.
The best thing I reckon about this camp was getting the bond with all the new boys, and like having fun, going like to do work experience on a station, and like see how a station actually runs.
I felt free here from the city. Made me feel like I could be a leader.
I just feel a bit like heaps confident, because I haven't had I'm not in the city, no stress on the phone, good night's sleep and get out in the morning.
Well, I did a lot of stuff that I've never done before. Working as a team with the boys, got to meet football stars.
What has changed in me is that I've become more connected to people, more open to new opportunities.
I feel real good. Like, I got heaps of knowledge to go home with, share with my friends, tell my mum, got back with the land. Like, cause back in the city we don't really get to do that. There's all just buildings everywhere. And got to go swim in the creek, like actually got to like get with it. Stop stressing about stuff back home, like the internet, get off their phones, like actually like reconnect with Earth.
It makes me feel like I can do it, and like I've got a lot of faith in myself if I ever get stuck at bush.
Well, if I ever come up with any other challenges, just always remember this camp and the choices that we have to choose from, and to always make the right one for you. And that if your friends leave you for it, then they're obviously not your friends. But always try to make yourself better and make your life better.
MomenTIM!